And now.
Hello, Melissa. Hello, Mitchell.
Good evening.
Hola.
Sounds like you're in a hurry.
Yeah, I should. The camera's supposed to be on.
Just. It is off. Our camera's off. Yeah.
Are you ready to go?
We're ready to go.
All right, welcome everybody at 7 o'clock. We will get the meeting on the go. This meeting is streamed live and recorded for public viewing and will be available, excuse me, on the town's YouTube page. Number 4.1. I have a motion here by Carolyn, seconded by Sean, that the minutes be adopted of the Special Events Committee and that those confidential minutes of that closed session of the committee remain confidential and restricted from public disclosure in accordance with the exemptions provided in the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. And that is referring, of course, to the Special Events Committee meeting, October 6th, 2025, which is in our package in front of us. Email. If anyone has any questions, comments, changes? Melissa, are you okay with that?
Yes.
So you're good? Right, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Moving on to 5.1. I have a motion here moved by Ingrid, seconded by Jill, that the Special Events Committee receive and approve the payable for October 2025, again, which is in our package in front of us. Questions, comments?
I know we talked about trying to push the spectacular a little more. Is that just is like $40 roughly what we spend when we push it a little more? Or I don't know if maybe Alex can speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, the budget was $100. It's just it started spitting the same ad to the same people over and over again. So we just at some point I just turned it off because it wasn't generating any more responses.
No, that makes sense.
Okay, does anyone else have any questions? Oh, all in favor? Carried, thank you. So regarding Halloween spectacular, Melissa, you'll have to help me. I left my notes for that somewhere. Not sure where, but somewhere.
Yeah.
Well,
So this.
The Optimus, I know, paid $600. They was quite happy with. And Melissa, how many kids was there?
There was about 170 kids that came through the event, which I think is well. I think we had, I want to say about 125 the year before. So it's definitely growing. And it was nice to see a lot of similar faces from Easter. There was people there that I recognized from Easter and were happy and like very positive reviews from everyone, but like people were very happy to see us back.
Yeah, I thought it went well. A little concerned at the start, but most people generally come in a bit later for the entertainment. He was good. Matthew Romaine definitely I thought was good. An hour is probably about 10 minutes too long, I would say. We were starting to lose interest in the crowd, but for what we paid and what he did, he really got them engaged, and I thought it was quite well.
Yeah, I think he was also a little concerned because the crowd was really thinning out by the end of the show. I think maybe the target age range for it was probably a little lower as well. Like we had a pretty good mix of age range there, and I would say it was probably like 7 and under was really his target audience.
Eddie had a tough time with all of the people that were doing the costume contest because the year before there was only maybe a handful. This year, pretty much everybody did it. So I kind of carefully walked behind her to make sure she didn't fall when she was doing her numerous spin. So she did quite well. So thank you for Nettie for doing that. Thank you for Team Reed for making a donation for the candy. We did only have one pumpkin entered for the pumpkin decorating contest, so it was relatively easy for Nettie to pick the winner. That one. The kids definitely enjoyed their little skeleton costumes, or sorry, the little skeleton awards that we got. I think the event went fine, for sure. Thank you, Mitchell, especially for, and I'm sure that the Optimists thank you, especially for finally getting their multiple TVs up and synced.
Yeah.
So they were quite happy about that. Anybody else have anything?
Did we have enough candy bags and everything for the kids?
We did. Melissa, did you reach out to Abner for the leftovers?
Yes. And yes, Alberta School did pick up the leftover candy. They were very appreciative of it. They were having a Halloween event that week, and they were able to distribute it to their students. So it was good.
Initially, they had, I can't remember her name. She came over and talked, and she liked to borrow some of the games that we had, because they were quite neat. At the end of the day, she texted and just where they were having it at their school, it was gonna be too dark for our games. Not needing the games, but yeah, she was quite happy to get the candy, so it was nice.
Just for context, the Facebook guys too, just pulled it up. So we reached 3,586 individuals with that $38 or whatever it was.
I think that just gives us a good idea too on like what we need to set for an idea on what we need to set for the budget for that as well. Because I think really,
It seems low to what we budgeted, but it still reached almost.
yeah.
Looking on.
Yeah, it's all tracked. Yeah, so there was about 72 responses to the event.
Yeah, so overall, I think that event, look, I'm quite happy with, for sure. It made it a little bit more of a challenge on the Friday night with all the new stuff that we purchased to decorate everything. But it all worked out well, so thanks everyone for doing the Friday and the Saturday, so.
And it was great to have Adam's son volunteer to do the games. That was really helpful.
Mhm.
You're welcome. I gotta remind me to get his sheet over to you at some point in time in the next month or two.
If I could add something too, I just like a side comment, some lady approached me during it and she said they were new to town. It was her and her son. And she just said that she appreciates like the town hosting events like this so she can get out and meet other people around. So just thought I'd throw that in too.
Yeah, no, that was definitely good, and I think definitely the handles that we had at the summer send-off helped quite a bit.
Mhm.
So you guys had pedaled them all out for that, so. Yeah, no, it was good. Nobody else has anything, I will move on to Mike.
A lot of people took pictures of Christmas in the Village post on their way in and out. That was well looked at for sure.
It's nice to have kind of like the next event kind of happening, but even though it may not be fully finalized, at least gives them an idea of what's coming up. So yeah, anyway, thanks, and especially you and Gord for standing out front and giving them the lowdown and everything that was behind the pumpkin. So, much appreciated. So Christmas in the Village, Melissa, thank you for sending us the meeting minutes that you took. I went through it briefly. We did have a meeting. It was held October 23rd. That was the first meeting that we had. Melissa, do you can you kind of go through it?
Yeah, absolutely. So as Brad mentioned, we did have our first of probably 2 or 3 Christmas in the Village meetings. Most of the groups were able to attend, which was great. So we did start by getting some feedback from everyone on what we had had from last year. There were some comments on just kind of overall timing, to try to tie that in a bit more this year and get everything kind of a little closer together. Um, and just um, some comments on decor. So we were able to get through a lot of the music with Dean, and I think we're going to be in good shape this year. Although we are looking for some heaters for him and his group, but we'll kind of work on that as our group and the extended Christmas in the Village groups to see how many we can find. The tractor parade is getting a lot of interest again this year. They are planning on meeting at the the Legion to start. And somebody has sponsored dinner for the attendees. I guess they had a few people join last minute last year, so they're hoping that this will kind of remedy that. And they're going to get back to us with the parade route. But Brad has already reached out to the OPP for some traffic control help, because there is some concerns around the Confed and Broadway area. But we'll kind of work on that as we confirm the parade route. There was some comments that we could use a bit more signage this year. And there was kind of some back and forth on how we want to approach the layout. So I think we have two different ideas, and I think we'll try to get them mocked up before the next meeting on November 20th, so that we can kind of see both layouts. I think they both have great merits, but the one layout is going to be more problematic if there is any sort of snow or any kind of really like bad weather. Other than that, the Lioness will be offering crafts again. Egg Society is going to offer cookies for the kids. And then I think our committee and everyone else kind of has to discuss too what else we're going to offer. Do we have both? We have one carriage sponsored right now, or do we have both horse and carriages sponsored? Both. Okay.
One's the Egg Society and one is the Legion.
Okay, perfect. And then I think the biggest change overall this year is going to be just given how far the fairgrounds are from the tree. I think we're going to start at the tree this year and then walk down to the fairgrounds, rather than starting at the fairgrounds, going to the tree and then going back. So we'll have to set up a table somewhere uptown to distribute the bells and the candles this year, but that's pretty minor and we can pretty easily figure out. So
So, one of the comments that actually Councillor Basie had made was if the tree uptown could have some presents underneath. So I asked Al if over at the compound, there was a couple upside down wooden crates. Worked perfectly. So do you have that? That was the last thing I sent you, Nicole. Yeah. Well, there they are. And they work perfectly, so Jill and whoever else maybe can put your thinking caps on, and we're gonna decorate it probably with that mesh, PVC mesh stuff. And then put some lights on the inside, and then maybe Al, I don't know, can it be tied into the tree? Somewhere to come on at the same time?
More power off the tree.
It will be two strands.
I don't know if it's, well, I don't know if you just want it for the one night or if you want for every night, I guess that. I was thinking for one night, then the twinkly lights, the battery twinkly lights, but if you want them lit up for the whole period that the tree is,
Yeah,
then.
I would prefer to see, you
Yeah.
know, the whole thing lit up maybe. So it's about, I would say, maybe 40 inches square, I think. Anyway, they're gonna work fine because they're light, but they're sturdy but light, so. We'll have to do a little bit of Frankensteining to them to make sure they look good, but we'll get there. So that was one of the comments. Nicole, can you pull up the grounds layout? This was a grounds layout that we proposed for the fairgrounds. Did I send you that one? Okay. So let's not worry about that one right now. We still have to finalize it over with the Village Committee, but yeah, the one concern I guess was if there's a lot of snow, it's kind of in the soccer field area, so. The reason I kept it off the soccer area was because I know the town plows and salts it and all that, so. That was one of the reasons why I kept it off there, but we'll see. I talked to the coordinator for the tractor parade. She has already driven the route from the Legion to the fairgrounds. It's about 15 minutes, so we're gonna add on another 5 for what if. And we're going to have Santa Claus either on a tractor, wagon, or fire truck, I'm hoping. At the end of the parade, he will stop uptown. And then that, excuse me, that's where he will do his thing, and that's where the town will do their thing with the tree lighting. And so I'm thinking tentative schedule that I'll propose to them. 5:30, we can gather uptown to watch the tractor parade. 5:50, Santa will arrive, tree lighting and the carol singing at the tree. Then we will hand out the bells and candles, right? I think we have bells and candles, Melissa? Okay. We'll do the Jingle Bell Walk back to fairgrounds. The Mega Tree Show will be running as soon as people come into the fairgrounds. They can watch it or they can continue on to the main stage area. 6:45 is the tentative time for opening ceremonies, Santa welcome, and the lighting, holiday lighting winners will be announced. I've allowed 15 minutes for that, which I think they said was fine. And then 7 o'clock on is free and open for the rest of the night. So that still has to be run by the rest of the committee, but timing wise, it all kind of centers around the tractor parade. And so I just kind of work back over there, to make everything else fall in line, so.
I think that makes sense. I think we'll probably hand out the bells and candles as people arrive, because then the kids can hold them and do whatever with them during the tractor parade. And then walk back with them and we'll collect them at the fairgrounds.
So as Melissa had said, I had contacted the OPP and asked for 1 or 2, preferably, units. One of the requests was to, at the start of the parade, to keep kids from filtering in on the roadway. But then one was also going to be for traffic control. And we said I would get back to them with exactly where the traffic control is going to be once the parade route was kind of online, I guess. But there's no guarantees, of course, but we are penciled in their books for that date, so. So that's good. Tractor or the carriages, they will be decorated fully this year by both companies and both sponsored, so that's great. The Hume's horse and carriage one was $650 plus tax, and the other horse and carriage was $825.
Which one's the Fair Board sponsoring?
The $825.
25?
But I think I sent Nicole invoices already and she was gonna disperse them out. So because of moving the locations this year, one of the things that we as a committee, our portion of the Christmas in the Village, we're gonna be doing the decorations for the event. So since we have little decorations, we're going to have to purchase Christmas decorations. So Nicole, can you pull up, I think, okay, so actually Mitchell had made a comment a while ago that for signage, it'd be nice to have it lit up. And we're definitely going to do that because where it will be located, there won't be a lot of lights. I'm just thinking solar spotlights will be good sun during the day where they can charge up and last long enough for the event, so. I'm thinking that, we're going to need some power towers for where these, where the items are gonna go, even though there's lots of power in the fairgrounds area. I think in my head, I will need a couple of these power towers, and they were also solar. Um, solar activated as well, which will be okay. The other thing I'm thinking of along one of the buildings in the fairgrounds, the first building, I forget the length of it, but I'm planning on having snowflakes in motion along that entire building. So that'll be a really large moving display for inexpensive money. Next page. So these are some of the items that as a committee we threw around in our chat. We talked about some of them at a rather lengthy subcommittee meeting like the other night. So starting up in the top left, there was, and these are all lit. So 9-foot tall snowman, you price there. The other one, because we're going to have some events inside the fairgrounds, they need a little bit of maybe welcoming decorations for when you walk in. So Jill had suggested these light up Canadian beavers, which I thought is unique. Mitchell brought up a great suggestion that they do where he is, and it's a photo spot. Now, this one's a little expensive, but I just threw it in there for the sake of discussion. The 7-foot tall lit present. Not on the same scale as what Petrolia does for their events, but I mean, it's fairly good size, but I'm a little concerned on the price on that one. The next one in the center column, this one is really quite nice. It's a 9.5-foot tall ornament that can be used as a photo drop. Mitchell had also suggested this other present archway. It's an 8.5 tall photo op. Al brought up the 9-foot Santa, the same as a snowman. It's all LED lit. I threw these two squiggly guys in the middle. Just for some motion. They're not terribly expensive, but they're unique. The stores don't have them at all, but where I found them, where we get our tents from, this was kind of unique. The other two things on the far right column was color changing LED Christmas trees. They're 42 inches tall, so I'm thinking where they're going to go, probably 2 of them. And reindeer, which are all lit the same as the other snowman and Santa. They are 5.5 feet tall there. And then these ones I finally found where I can get them from, but they are 3-foot tall giant Christmas bulbs. Rather unique. We can make a path out of them. So they come in red, blue, and white. So I'm thinking probably 9 in total to make a pathway to where Santa's going to be for one of the photo spots. In regards to the Santa tent where he's going to be sitting, you got the sides and the insides came in last week. Quality's phenomenal. The quality is really, really good. So it's going to make a beautiful Santa seating area for sure. We did try and we were trying to find a Santa chair. Does the town own a Santa chair, or it was the mailbox they purchased?
We have a Santa chair somewhere.
The storage locker.
What kind is it?
And Santa looking. Someone purchased it somewhere along the line, and I don't know when, where, or how we got it.
It's not just a small little wooden chair, is it?
It's a medium to large wooden chair, isn't it?
And is it the one that was at the Lions Hall in the Lions Hall storage?
It could be. It's got like red velvet seating.
Oh, no, this one didn't. That one that we're thinking of was just a plain old, like an old-fashioned school chair. So the town does have one?
You can go take a picture of it.
Okay. Because we did try and find a Santa chair. Carolyn found one actually for us, and it looked great in the pictures. It actually looked phenomenal in the pictures. And then Jill and her husband went and took a look at it, and maybe for a dwarf Santa, it might have worked.
Mrs. Santa, it would be Mrs. Santa. Yeah.
So we had to pass on that one. The price was good, but yeah, we had to pass on that one. Anyway, that's kind of what we're needing for the Santa tent. It's just something better for him to sit in and maybe the kids just to sit on. Wow.
We'd like the dimensions too.
Hmm?
We'd like the dimensions of how big it is.
If someone could, when you find it, if someone could sit in it,
Mike sat in it before. It's been used the last couple of years.
I just remember one being a little rich. Not all apart rickety, but.
Mark Dew sat in it last year, didn't he?
I think so, because,
Used every year.
yeah,
It's the same one then.
He's about the same size as this Santa, I think.
it is, I believe, a wooden frame chair.
Yeah.
And then
Well, I guess the sooner if you can find a picture of it and kind of rough dimensions, that will help us. We may have to go on send Carolyn on the hunt again for a. Sure, Al did have one out of London, phenomenal. I really liked it, but none of us could get there to get it. And then on the third page of that, is the map there? I have it on my,
There it is.
there we go. So that is the, let's call it tentative map, fairgrounds. Assuming that we don't have a pile of snow. I prefer this layout. They're coming in the front gate. I'm obviously trying to keep the tractors away from the horses. So you can see where the horses are there in front of the fairgrounds, parking at the top there. Parking probably only before the parade starts. I don't want any cars coming in afterwards, so we'll have to somehow take care of that. Parking for the handicapped in front of the fair building, and then maybe another parking slot there. Depends on how many tractors actually Lisa comes back with. Tractors all in purple boxes there. They will kind of U-shape around if need be. She's not totally sure yet. She's got to measure the tractors and the implements, and they'll have some space in between. Going back to the front, the mega tree will be there, so it's somewhat visible down the road as well. So it'll be in competition with Bill Siff right there. Sure, which he is already on me about lights.
He's got them in the alleyway too.
Hmm?
He's gonna put them in the alleyway.
Yeah, under hoop arches, yeah. So that whole area in yellow, Christmas decorations is kind of somewhat dark. If I have to talk to the fairgrounds and see if one of those outside lights can be turned off, which I think it can be. In the soccer field area there is where the fire department would probably have their s'mores and picnic tables. So I will, once it's finalized, I'll kind of get you the whole list of the different things that I need. In the Lions little food booth there, they're going to be serving their food, and then the Legion is confirmed and they will be doing hot chocolate and popcorn. We do have a float being brought in along with the stage that we had before, or sorry, the tent that we had before for Fins and Fenders for the music there. So there's lots of power in that building there. Santa will be tucked up there on the angle. There is decent lighting there, so it's not going to be dark at all for him. Plus, we will have his tent lit on the inside. So that's the tentative layout. On the inside, the lioness are going to be doing crafts in the fair building. Ladies will be doing cookies. So that's the tentative layout.
I just had a thought. Last year when Dave and I were walking around looking at the parked tractors, I can't really remember, but they weren't on, but probably a lot of them did. They have generators? I'm just wondering if it'll be too loud with Santa right there beside the tractors. I don't know, but it was just a thought. It seems to me like it wasn't quiet there. So I don't know.
That's one of the questions that we'll have to ask the tractor parade just to see how they're going to
It may be worth trying to push all the tractors and everything further west. Cause if they want to get moving, their visibility is not great. And we don't really want kids running back and forth between the hall, between the tractors.
Yeah.
Right.
So even if we park them like on the west side of the hall, it leaves that leaves in front of the hall and to east of it for pedestrians, it might be safer.
Right, okay,
But again, it all depends on measurements.
right.
We have one of those blinking traffic for pedestrians, like one of those just blinking crosswalk things.
We have a temporary one that we use at send off. I don't know if it blinks or not.
Oh, the little cones and stuff, yep.
I wonder if we want to have something kind of in front of the door area, only because it would give people, it would maybe prompt people to all cross in the same spot, or it would at least kind of give people a better area to cross, rather than hopefully just everywhere.
Okay, well, we can figure all that stuff out. Me, a lot of this kind of depends on. I personally think the tractor parade and what they have. Space wise, I think. Kind of affects things just a little bit. But anyway, that's just a rough layout for that. So if you want to go back to Nicole to the previous page, please.
It's also going to depend a lot on the snow. Like if we have a lot of snow, this might not work well.
Right. Right. I know that they had suggested maybe come with Plan B. The only concern with that with Plan B is there's going to be very few people that will be changing things around quickly to make Plan A into Plan B. Because I think we plan on putting some of the stuff together the week of at night. And our thought, I guess, in discussion, it's an awful lot of work for one night. So I'd have to talk to the fair building, and I'm sure they'd be okay with that, but I'd like to make this a destination location for the holidays. So if someone comes into town and they can't make it for December 13th, but they're coming on the 15th, whatever. I'd like this to have, I'd like this to run the same as a mega tree every single night, everything lit up right through to the end of the year. Is what I would like, you know, it's just a lot of work to have for one night. But let's kind of see what everyone else's thoughts are in the group. I don't think anyone would have a problem with it, but again, it's not on town property, so I just want to make sure that they'd be okay with it. So I guess the floor is open for discussion on what people would like for
That was the other discussion too, was whether or not we should be putting our decorations at the fairgrounds, or I guess there's an empty lot on Broadway that the town owns.
Be very tight for the amount of decorations you're talking. But then you'd
Okay.
have to transpose them all from your Christmas in the Village event over to there, so you're setting up and tearing down twice.
Yeah, which
between two homes, like two businesses uptown.
Between two businesses, they have apartments up above, yes. So maybe the Mega Tree, permanent location for the Mega Tree, maybe in the future.
Music on it though, that's the only thing. I don't want to bother them with the same song every night.
Yeah, we might find it unplugged.
yeah, I think it's probably better off that we plan on leaving the decorations there, and we can talk to the Ag Society at the next meeting to see what their thoughts are.
Yeah.
But it would, like, if we're going to do something like that, it would be nice to have something like the present or like the ball to walk through, and kind of have it almost like a loop that people can walk through.
Like a path, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. So in penciling everything out of where we are at this year and keeping in mind that we still have 2,500 left for one of the grants that we got. I penciled in roughly 3,750, kind of no more than that we could have decorations for. And that doesn't include everything else for the event. This is just a separate 3,750 kind of we could play around with, is in my calculations. And that still leaves us with a little bit of money left over at the end of the year. So. Do you want to pop Mitch back up for a second? We'll start with him.
Are all the decorations that you've had for previous years, are they in good shape? When you use those? or
Yeah,
what?
there's one that got tripped on, I think, last year, right? So there's a very small rip in the bottom and,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, one of the inflatables.
yeah, actually Carolyn, you so, right? I might be able to give it to you to, it's about that long, roll in steam. So Mitchell, could you see they could see all what we looked at, right?
Yeah,
So what are your thoughts on the stuff?
I think it's good. I just personally, from like here in Waterloo, they like their main thing is a trail, like what Melissa was saying, where you walk through. I like the picture, like I'm fine with whatever. I think all those are good. But I think like one of a top priority, if everyone agrees, is like that ornament that you walk through. I think that would be a good something that people take pictures at, because that's gonna market it for you as well. Because people are gonna share those pictures amongst themselves. So it's like free marketing in a way.
With the trail, a word of caution. As soon as you say it's a trail for walking, you have to maintain it to, since it's on private property, up occupiers' liability standards for a walking path, which is way higher than even we have to maintain our sidewalks too. So if you're advertising it for people walking through there, someone's gonna make sure it's free and clear of ice and large amounts of snow and et cetera. So better just to set it up as a mural that people can stand up and take a picture in, and if they wanna walk, that's great.
Yeah.
But don't advertise it as such. Cause you put a lot of risk on the committee, town and the Ag Society.
Okay. Good point. Hey, Mitchell, you want to continue? Is there anything there you don't like?
No, not really. I thought those tubes, the air tubes, were a good idea. I think those be fun to look at. I think all those ideas were great, really. Yeah.
Melissa, what's your thoughts on all this?
The only thing I'm hesitant on is the air tubes. I don't know if we can put them like at the gates or as you're walking into the fair buildings, or like somewhere that it makes sense. Like I feel like just mixing those in with the lights, they might look funny. But I like if we could put them as you're driving it, like as you're driving or walking into the gates at the fairgrounds, that I think would look really cool. I'm not sure about integrating them into the like display that we're having, because I think we're looking for like a like sparkly silver gold like shiny Christmas experience, and I that's not what those say to me.
Right. I just threw them in because they were kind of funny looking.
I do
would
think they're
just,
really
word
cute.
of caution there, those dancing.
Yep.
Ornaments and stuff there may spook the horses.
Yeah, I was just
Oh,
same thing.
And they require constant maintenance. Because every time they deflate during the day and snow gets up, someone has to clean off all the snow off of them.
Okay. So, yeah, I never thought about that also. I would suggest nixing the two poopy guys there. Melissa, continue on.
Other than that, I really like it. I do like, there are some things I like more than others. I think that we need to stick with a cohesive color palette though. And I think everything there pretty well flows. But we've got a lot of like golds and silvers and reds, which I think is classic. So I think that works really well together.
Stay with the gold, silver,
Um,
reds is what you're suggesting.
yeah. And I think whether we do the present or the ball, I think they're both gorgeous. So I think they're great.
Jill,
I like the silver ornament over the present. I agree with Melissa. I really like them for the price of the gift one. I'm wondering if we could find something just as nice, a little bit less. But otherwise, no, I think, yeah, no, I like everything. Except, yeah, I'm,
yeah, I never thought about the horses at all, so yeah, that's the last thing we need is like a chariot race. Really,
Got wagons.
yeah. Carolyn.
I like all the, I'm on the fence about the squigglies as well, but I like all the other ornaments. I guess I'm worried about, or not worried, concerned, I guess, when you say about your path. Well, they're like, they won't be tripping over the electrical cords.
No, we're gonna run them in such a way that it's
Not-
aligned.
Okay.
It's gonna go, yeah.
That was,
That's why I have a couple power towers, just to kind of organize some of that.
okay. That was my thoughts. If they deviate from a path, would they potentially trip?
I'm liking a lot of it. My favorite thing would definitely be the ornament. I think I said that in that, that we talked about a few days ago. I think it gives you a nice round, it's just welcoming. I think I've seen them many times and I think that's still the nicest one of the bunch. And the coloring is nice. Everything goes with everything.
We could use the present or the ornament as the entrance into the decorating.
Yeah, and the Christmas lights, we have two boxes of Christmas lights and they're red and green. So I don't know if there's a way we can use them to light up a partial building or if we want to use them on the trailer where Santa's going to be, the flatbed, whatever, where that tent is. But we do have some, and if we maybe want to get some more, I don't know what the layout is at the location. If there is an opportunity to hook up Christmas lights like we would at our own homes, is that a possibility?
I believe so, yes. There was talk about putting some around the Lions little booth that's there.
That'd be nice.
I think Melissa's was going to get a bunch. So we'll see kind of what she walks away with that one. We will need a couple strands for inside the tent for Santa, and we will need a couple strands inside the music float for the band.
Well, maybe we use
I
the
have-
red green ones then for the Santa, and we buy other ones to go all around. I think it's perfect.
I have about 12 to 15 strands of white and blue. And they're like little icicle ones that kind of hang down.
I would kind of,
15 8-footers?
I think so. I'm gonna grab them this week and I'll take a better look, but yeah.
Okay. These are the ones you had last year, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think I had about 20, but I've got about 15 left that I have nothing to do with. So I'm hoping the committee will just take them.
Okay. Al, what's your thoughts on all this?
How tall was that red entranceway?
8.5 feet.
Cause you could use that as your photo thing, cause I'm gonna tell you right now, when you put that ornament up, you're gonna have people stop and take pictures under it. But you could do that in a different spot somewhere else with that. I like everything. And I tend to agree with you that gold present's pretty expensive. That's a lot of money. But I think you could use the other one, what wasn't it, $300 or something, right? Yeah, so you could use that as a photo thing. And if you want, you could even kind of do some kind of backdrop behind it if you really wanted to. In a vinyl thing, but everything I see, I think looks good.
Ditto. I agree.
That's an easy outgo. Like,
Ditto.
what's your thoughts?
I just have the famous question to protect everyone's garages. What's our storage unit looking like right now?
It's all been organized and we got lots of room.
For all the big boys? Okay. I just get nervous for everyone's garages.
can I ask something or offer something? I'm wondering about inside Santa's tent. It has a backdrop, does it not? Is it kind of cabiny looking?
Yeah, it's a
Sort of
cabin.
place, kind of.
Place.
So I'm wondering if the lights inside, not outside, but inside should be just like a warm yellow, like a you know, just,
Well, it would make picture taking easier, for sure, as opposed to the red and green, yeah.
I think it just would add with all the color outside, and then you've got Santa all snug inside his tent kind of thing, the kids, so
Yeah, no, that's.
just a
That's a
suggestion.
good idea, for sure. And we do have was a 7-foot Ingrid tree, a lit.
7.5 foot pre-lit.
Okay, perfect.
And I thought instead of actual ornaments on it, I think maybe if we just get some of that, garland that just wraps around it, that would reflect from the existing lights in there, then we don't have to worry about anything breaking or anything like that. It'd be easier to store too. I can get some of that to go on the tree, but I think that's might be the better way than actual ornaments and.
You can always ask don't want to get schools, but daycare to make paper chains and stuff like that for it.
Oh, yeah.
Some kids would get a kick out of being in there and say, oh, I made that, you know, kind of thing too.
From the town's perspective, is there anything there that concerns on?
Not specifically, it's more about how they're used and where they're used than the specific items. I agree with mostly everyone that the squiggly things are cool, but they come with issues, so I would leave them, but everything else seemed reasonable.
I like everything. The only thing I would question would be the present. It is really quite nice. Price is tall. The price is tall, but I can go with it if everyone else wants to. That's not a problem, but I'd rather include that into foundation grant for next year. But I can explain all that later. It's just it's very pricey for what it is. But it does make a nice photo drop too. I'm open to whatever you guys would like to do with it.
I think the other present would make just as nice of a photo drop. And if we wanted to, we could even put like a little, like we have that backdrop we could put behind just for the event and then take it away afterwards.
Yep. Because we do have, last year we purchased a.
Christmassy backdrop for
Put it
behind
up,
Santa.
Mr. Mary, you helped me put it up. Was it a fireplace? Yeah. Yeah, because it was cold. We were standing there trying to get warm. That's right. So we do have that. Then we do have the backdrop stand as well. So, I guess, Adam, in terms of proceeding forward with this, do we need to figure it out and get back to you and have a motion to proceed with this, or we already gave you a budget? We had a budget for the event for 7,000 that was approved a while ago, quite a while ago. So.
I think as long as you walk away with some kind of budget to work with, you're fine. I don't think you need a motion for each individual item, but you propose a budget to purchase items and that would be sufficient, I would suggest, for a motion.
Okay. Does anyone else have any comments? You guys online, any other comments about the stuff? So we'll have to do some space planning and then kind of figure out how many extension cords that we're going to require.
You want a motion kind of giving you a price cap on those items tonight though, because you're not meeting again before, are you? And you're gonna be purchasing pretty quickly, right?
So, Nicole, I guess I will need a motion to proceed with. How would you like me to word it? Proceed with decorations for the event?
Proceed with some decorations for Christmas in the village and the event in a limit of X dollars.
To not exceed 3,700. Can you to read that back to Nicole when you're done?
Okay, so I have motion to proceed with the physical decorations for the village event and to not exceed $3,700.
Can I have a first and second? Moved by Mike, seconded by Al. All in favor? Melissa, you okay with that?
Yeah, sorry, I'm fine. I just have to find a charger.
Okay. All right, perfect. Thank you. So I'll kind of then through the group chat, kind of get back to everyone and say, okay, here's what we can do. Here's the cost, and then I'll send it to Nicole. And then we'll go from there. Yeah, so do you want me to run through some of the other expenses, Adam, for the event? In this form?
Probably a good idea.
So Nicole, can I get you to open up the final thing, holiday light contest? So yeah, I've already been asked a couple times what the dates were for this event, so the old logo I thought was just a little too ratty looking, so I come up with this one. And you'll have to help me, Melissa, because I think you took the times down on this the other night of the meeting. So if you want to scroll down, please, Nicole. Pretty much the same as last year, just the registration dates. When were we running this? I have from the 15th to December 10th. I don't think that's right.
No. So we talked about,
Hmm.
we said most people would probably decorate at the latest November 29th. So cutoff to enter is going to be December 3rd, with judging December 4th. And then Alex, maybe you can help us with this part. We had talked about whether or not we could do, actually, sorry, no, we decided that we were going to do voting on Facebook. So rather than the committee voting, it would be people liking or doing some sort of something on the photo, and then that would count as a vote. And then whoever had the most amount of votes prior to Christmas in the Village. So we were going to cut off voting by the 10th or 11th, so that we would have time to do some sort of trophy and certificate for the winners.
I guess the only catch there is it won't be a surprise, but.
No, I mean, it kind of will be though, because voting, despite the fact, like, if there's anything close, we'll cut it off at like midnight on the, maybe not midnight, maybe like 9 o'clock on the 10th, so that we can actually look and see where all the votes are at. But then people will probably still keep voting. So it might change after we finalize it anyway.
Okay, so Melissa, the registration dates were when? To December 3rd?
Correct.
And then judging was when, the 4th?
So on the 4th, the committee will go and take photos and videos of all of the participating houses and upload them to our Facebook page. And then the 5th to probably the 10th, people could like the photos to vote on their favorite house. And we'll do both a residential and commercial again.
So the 10th, we'll say voting ends.
Yeah, maybe at like 9 p.m. or something.
Just one thing that, Adam, in terms of the town's perspective on that, do we, and this, Alex, you might be able to help on this one too. In order to, when people log on and they see the rules of the event, you would probably need permission for them to, us to take a picture of their house, would we? So maybe a checkbox to.
I think we had it on the
form.
We added that last year in the form that we could use their house for
we also-
marketing.
Yeah, okay. We also added a disclaimer that we're not responsible for any images or issues that come from people knowing where your house is.
And Alex, I think last year you provided a map to us.
Yeah, and that was gonna be my next question, is we're gonna do that again, yeah, because last year, once we had all the submissions.
Yeah.
We created like a little map for people to follow if they wanted to go see them.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so just so I have it correct, December 3rd is the ending for that, the 4th is the judging, and then the 10th is the voting ends, right? The online voting ends?
Yep.
And then the winners will be announced during the opening ceremony at the Christmas in the Village. Al, how did you make out with finding?
I got a price on it, but I just trying to find it. I had it.
Okay.
And I just, give me a second. He has an acrylic one. He's got to bring it in from the States, but I can't remember how much it was. So just bear with me. I'm just looking. I turned my phone off, so I had to turn it back on.
I was hoping that we could offer the pictures online besides Facebook. No, but
You mean a link off the town's website, you mean?
yeah, or
Is that
something,
possible?
something like that.
I like
Not
that idea.
everybody's on Facebook.
Yeah,
Is that Mitchell?
I said I like that idea as well.
Yeah, I think you can.
Not everybody's gonna have Facebook to look at those
I
things.
use the form builder on GovStack.
So yeah, last year for prizes, we had gift cards for local businesses here, but this year we thought we would try something different. So Al had suggested trophy. Even though it might be a dust collector, someone might like the trophy. So he was tasked to find trophies. So we can come back to that, Al, when you find it.
Okay.
So, the other expenses in there, we were gonna take out a full page ad in the Independent because there's so many changes to the entire event this year. As well as, location, so there's that will be a full page ad in there, 630 for that one. Advertising for Facebook for the event, I allowed 50. Think that'll work, and then the light, another 50.
You guys say we separate the two?
Yeah. We already talked about the horses. I have to find out and see if we need signage for all the tractors. I would imagine we do, but I've allowed $90 for that. Cookies are 0 because that's a contribution from fairgrounds. The Christmas Santa tent, which we did get a grant for, already, that was $18.75 is what that came in at. Music, band, we're going to give them 600 this year for that. Music for Megatree, that was purchased quite a while ago, but it came in at 288. The special guest is 250. And the decorations, like I said, 3,700, so. That all comes in at 93.57 approximately for everything, minus the grants, minus the money coming back from the Egg Society and the Legion. So I think it makes our event approximately 5,900 for our Christmas in the Village. So. Anyone else have any comments on all of that?
We may need a little buffer to just, we had talked about whether or not Santa should bring an elf with him. Just for walking through the crowds, whether or not
Yeah.
he might need some help.
Right. Was that a volunteer, did you say, Melissa?
Um,
You?
we'll find out who's available.
Okay.
Sorry, we're on to December the 10th again for this? For the Christmas in the Village?
13th.
When we had a meeting last week, we discussed possibly bringing in the Scouts and Girl Guides to sell their cookies.
Elf.
You need more hours?
It's called elf.
Yeah.
He's gotta dress up,
He has a,
look like an elf.
he has an elf hat. He has an elf sports jacket with like candy canes and everything out of it.
Oh, perfect.
Gotta find him green pants.
Why do I hear, oh, Dad?
Jingle.
What do you feel about being an elf at Christmas? He's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You need hours, just say yes.
I have the full outfits if you want them.
For a 6'1" one elf?
There might be some of that pebble stuff. I got like 200 outfits that I don't even know what I have.
Well, he's skinny, so you can give him one for a small person and for something to cover up his legs.
So where this came about when we were asking about, having the cups and, goats come in to do cookies and what else? Was it coffee, Melissa?
Yeah, so the idea was, as we all know, the Scouts and Girl Guides have been big supporters of our events in Wyoming. The committee has talked in the past about offering coffee as a beverage to give to the residents as a donation from our committee. The Scouts sell Scout coffee. It's one of their larger fundraisers throughout the year. So the idea would be that we would cover the costs of the Scout coffee and the cups. They would come and serve coffee, and then they would sell coffee and Girl Guide cookies to anybody that was interested in purchasing. Obviously, though, the coffee would be free for anybody attending the event.
And this,
Mhm.
yep, sorry, Melissa, go ahead.
I did reach out to them, and if we decide to move forward with it, they are very interested in it, helping us with the event.
Oh, well, that's good.
Do they want to set up a tent outside? Is that what we would do, is have them set up a tent amongst?
Yeah, a tent
everything?
or a table or something, yeah. I did mention that we would try to get them close to a plug just for coffee maker. It would pull a fair amount off the generator all night, so it would be nice to have them near some sort of plug.
Because we'll do coffee and Legion's doing hot chocolate, so that wouldn't interfere that way. So the reason all this was discussed was last year there was a pop-up bar that came at the event. We really didn't know anything about, and we were shocked, I guess, the night of. Although it was kind of nice to have at the end of the day, it wasn't really planned at all. So seeing that it's on the grounds this year, of course, they cannot run a bar unless the fairground decides that they want to run the bar and get the license and all that stuff. So I would just as soon not have it. Because it just changes the dramatics of thing. That will be discussed at the next so the village meeting. So yeah, we do have a budget of 10,000, Melissa, so we do have that buffer zone kind of in there, for sure. Yep.
What's the Lions gonna be doing out of their booth?
They're gonna be doing food, was all I was told, was food.
Didn't they do apple cider one year? Somebody did apple cider.
Apple cider.
We did apple cider. I think they'll do hot dogs.
Yeah.
And then I believe in the past, the Legion has brought their popcorn maker and done popcorn.
Right. So the Legion's doing popcorn and hot chocolate, and the Lions, if they do the same as what they did last year, was hot dogs.
As long as they don't
But
do
I-
as long and the Cubs and Scouts.
Well, we'll just tell them they're not doing coffee.
They can do cider.
They can do cider.
It probably should go on the agenda for the next meeting anyway, to discuss exactly what everyone's doing, so that we're all aware.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've got that pencil down. So, anybody else have anything on Christmas in the Village? I know it's early, but it's not.
Are we going to have a? I don't know, I know we'll have to have a subcommittee meeting, but I'm wondering about. Once we get the decorations and the new decorations. And then an inventory of the old decorations and kind of a walk around the grounds and an idea of the layout.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Kind of thing, yeah.
The idea was that the next Christmas in the Village meeting, we would have at the fairgrounds, so that we can discuss the layout as well.
And that next meeting is November 20th at 7 p.m.
Okay, I found it. Okay. Let's see what he says. There's a couple in my catalog with a couple crystal trophies featuring light bulbs. These are the only light bulb themed trophies I've ever recalled seeing. And being optic crystal, they are a bit pricey. You'd be looking at about $110, including the etching if you decide to proceed. I need lots of lead time because I have to bring them in from the States because there's no Canadian supplier that makes them. Okay, and let me just see. Picture looks like they do.
What a plaque.
We do plaques too, yeah.
Well, we.
Yeah,
we can
colored
do-
lights on.
We can do plaques or whatever.
Yeah, plaques would be about 50 or 60 bucks, right? So,
Yeah, like, we can do plaques at work, so that might be an option too. Oh, you know.
as soon as you wanted to go into something that's a little eccentric, that's why it's so pricey.
Yeah.
So, but he has everything, like, I've been dealing with him for years, so.
We could also consider like the picture of their house that wins. Like if it actually looks decent, we could do like a plaque with the picture of their house and then the year that they won or something.
I've had him do those for me before. Yeah, they put it under acrylic and then put the picture on the.
Yeah.
It looks really sharp. But you just wouldn't be able to give it to them that day unless you say to them, well, you're gonna get a picture of it or whatever. But you wouldn't be able to get it done that fast, right? You can always add it
Mhm.
afterwards.
Well, I could get it done that fast, but that doesn't leave me a lot of time. If we go that route, Gary.
Two things, Brad, if you built some monuments, picture have to be taken from the space station. And then secondly, did we book the fair billing for the 20th?
I don't know, that was up to Loren, because she offered it, so she was going to.
Follow up.
Okay. She was going to look after that, was the last I was told, so, okay.
All right.
Are we doing two trophies, one for business, one for residential?
What did we think? Yes? Yep.
Yeah, I think we should.
And only first place, right? Not second, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I don't know. All right, so we still have a bit of time on that, not a lot, but I mean, we'll still maybe throw around some different ideas. If you can you put that photo on the group chat so we can all kind of see what you're talking about?
Yeah, as soon as I get it I can't get it to load right now, but as soon as I get it, I will, yeah.
Okay, moving on, 6.3, Community Foundation Grant. So initially, at one point, there was some discussion going on about maybe having power at McKay Park. In the discussion I had with Al briefly and the discussion I had with Nicole briefly. I think it's gonna be a lot bigger scope than what we did before. So my recommendation would be to not do that. And besides, if we had more power to the park, it's not gonna be just us that's going to be needing it, so. My recommendation would be to really bump up the Christmas decorations for next year. I have been in discussion with the fellow that manufactures awful nice stuff actually and supplies a lot of the big corporations in North America with them. So we looked at that one present for 1,000. If I can get this other one, it's about 600 for the same thing, but it's got a big photo booth in the middle that people can stand in and have their photo taken, so they're part of the event. The reason I was asking, I guess, Nicole, about the seating chair is we might put in for the Santa an actual throne, and it's nice instead of the kids standing or sitting on Santa's knee, would be to have a it's an ornament that is made into a seat that two kids can actually sit on. So. I don't know.
We've done Christmas in the village for 2 years in a row now.
Yep.
Can I suggest that we maybe jump to 9.2 and then have a discussion about the foundation grant as part of that? Because staff are going to be proposing that we include a notable amount the 2026 budget to celebrate Plympton-Wyoming anniversary. We want this group to be part of that. You will have the expertise and the desire to make sure that this anniversary is celebrated well. It doesn't make sense to form another committee to celebrate another event if you have a great group of people doing that. So realistically, the biggest thing I wanted to get a feel of, would this group prefer to plan one big event in addition to your events? Or would you rather much larger budgets for your existing events to put a 25-year anniversary spin on all of them? Or at least a large portion of them, specifically the summer ones?
What, what time of year would you be?
That's why we're here today, because I am open to suggestions.
That's when it actually became. Or it was in January, was it not?
It was, but that was just a ministry order date. I don't think I want to celebrate.
Absolutely
on
not.
the date.
Absolutely not.
Not get the turnout you want.
So we're applying to the county creative grant for I think I'd have to look it up. I think 7,000. I'd have to pull up my staff report. Just won't. And why I said hold the foundation grant is we've already applied for the foundation for long-term funding for the pool replacement. But maybe this group might be interested in applying to the foundation for the 25th anniversary to help pay for additional items as well. Again, and the reason why I wanted to see what you guys want to do is I don't want to add more work onto your workload significantly. That's why I was kind of leaning towards, I think you guys would really enjoy having that extra funds to make your existing events that much bigger for our 25th anniversary. But if the group as a whole wants to do one big event, I'm open to ears as well.
So who all would we be kind of working with?
Realistically, that we're still in the planning process.
But it's not just our input, like we'll have council input, mayor input, like we'll have community input, or
you would probably be doing very similar as you have done with most of the events already, which means you'd be involving the Legion, the Lions, the Ag Society. It'll be a community event, so you'd be involving all the community partners. The extent to which council would get involved in, is yet to be determined. I would want the Historical Society involved more so than in past for these types of events, and the Lambton County Archives, so they can put a historical spin on each event as well, so we can celebrate our heritage, which is important for the grant I'm going to be submitting. So we need to really push the heritage side of the 25th anniversary to make sure we get maximum funding. So this, literally, I just submitted the grant application or floated the idea past council, last council meeting. This is an open book, and that's why I wanted to talk to everyone early in the process to get everyone's input. Sorry to steal the show away from the foundation grant, but I thought these conversations go well together.
but the town would have a vision of what you would like to see.
I have a vision. I have not sold that vision to council yet. I may have floated that vision through my last two staff reports, but I didn't get an endorsement saying, Adam, go with that. It's like, we would like to apply for these grants. Here's what we'd like to use the grant money for. Everyone nodded their head. So we have a kind of a general idea of what we'd like to do. And in those reports, I did say either we'd be working with specifically Special Events Committee and all the community partners to work on these events together. I wouldn't rely on any one group to do it. I would expect that there might be some more council participation in some of these events, but I don't know if we're necessarily looking for them to lead the events either, per se. So it's open right now, and that's why I wanted to have this discussion with everyone here.
Okay, so I'm just gonna throw this out. We've always struggled at Canada Day, right from the get-go. What about having a separately run event towards that time of year because of the weather, but I don't necessarily want to hold it on Canada Day because that's just, there's too many things going on in too many different places. Yeah, you could get maybe grants for that, but I mean, that might be more trouble than it's worth. I would like to see it as a separate event. myself as opposed to funds topped up in all the other events. Myself. But like a midsummer, early summer, when the weather's decent event is my preference, I guess. I don't know what else, what you guys think, but I would like to see it as a separate event. I think given 25 years, it needs its own identity, I guess I would say.
Are you thinking a 1-day event, 2-day event?
Open to discussion. It all depends on how much funding we can get together between council, these grants and everything else.
You probably already get a grant for Canada Day anyway from the government, correct?
Not specifically, no. Because usually they require,
Has to be on Canada Day.
yeah.
We had a Canada Day one, and there's just, everybody else has something on Canada Day. So we found that taking it off of Canada Day, we didn't get that grant. But
You would lose the money, yeah.
Everyone around us has well-established Canada Day celebrations.
Yeah.
We're late to the game when it comes to community celebrations. So we tend to get drowned out by the surrounding celebrations on Canada Day.
Have a location in mind or?
Nope, again, literally the reports just went in front of council Wednesday. They've agreed to apply to the county creative grant for 10,000. They're gonna, at a minimum, throw in an additional 10,000 from council. So if we can get another, 4,000 to 5,000 from the foundation, you're looking at a potential 25,000 plus dollar budget for a single event.
we threw out Reefa's Corners
Yeah,
as a location.
where would that grounds be in summertime? Is there anything planned for that grounds? And the reason why we threw it out was because we were asked at one time to have something out there to kind of bring people out to them. So that was, I guess, the reasoning for that. And plus it's between two communities.
In June or July, end of June, early July, we should be okay. It's about as much information as you're gonna get me.
No problem.
That's about
think we
probably
wanna
when we'd
go-
be thinking about it anyway.
I don't think we want to go into July. I think we want to stick with end of June, only because we've had historically bad luck with summer events, just because people tend to already have their weekends planned, especially the first couple weeks of summer. I think we should be trying to hit maybe even like the last weekend before Canada Day, or even 1 week before that.
Weekend that school gets out.
Or that.
Yeah, I would even say like the 20th.
So we were basically going to not do our Celebrate Canada Day then, the way this is kind of discussed at the moment. And we would celebrate 25 years of Plympton-Wyoming and its history beforehand.
I guess that's my preference. I don't know what anyone else thinks. That's my preference.
So you could be looking at 20th of June.
You know what? The 20th is actually Father's Day. And I think that's going to be hard for scheduling. Canada Day falls on a Wednesday this year. The last day of school is probably the 25th for most people. I think we could probably do the 20th. Oh, sorry, the 21st is Father's Day. So we could do the 20th. We could also do the 27th. The 20th might be easier though, because nobody would have gone away yet.
27th or 8th might be when Brights Grove does theirs, because usually they do it the weekend before Canada Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we might have better luck if we try to stick to the 20th.
Of course, this, I'd like to kind of pencil that in, I guess, the 20th, because that affects when we do our picnic in the park, right?
Yeah,
That Father's Day weekend,
Yeah.
that is, yeah.
yeah, firefighters do their bacon burgers
Either bacon burger.
and they have the yard sales and all that.
And
Can they bring their bacon burgers to our 25th anniversary?
it's all part of it.
They can still keep their proceeds.
Oh, your event would be a daytime event, or would you do an afternoon, late afternoon event? If it's a late afternoon event, you're probably okay, but if you're daytime, it's a direct competition and they've been doing that for decades, so.
What about the week before, the 13th?
Because we have yard sales the weekend of the 20th, I would steer away from the weekend of the 20th. I would do the 13th. But then I think we're probably out for Reese's Corners then.
Are you thinking of fireworks? It's a birthday party. Yeah, you should do it.
Yeah, fireworks are on the table. Fireworks take up a large portion of your budget though. But yes, fireworks are always, and then it becomes a question of where do we light off the fireworks?
Well, that's what I was getting
Next
at.
to the gas station.
Nighttime too, so.
The only place in my mind, the only place that comes into my mind that could accommodate fireworks would be the fairgrounds. Or
John's Hill.
Lakeshore Park. That would Lakeshore Park.
But that will kind of knock off your grant, because the grant only comes from, for the village.
For the foundation one, yes, that would knock off that grant because their bylaws require that money is to be spent in one.
So the fairgrounds in.
We would, which means we'd have to, yeah.
There's drones too that we could look into. Quick show.
Yeah, like no matter
Well,
what,
they're expensive.
yeah, they are.
Oh,
Slightly cheaper than fireworks, but not much.
Not much, yeah.
There are three companies across the river that do them and have no problem coming to Canada. There's two in somewhat closer to this way, but I guess Toronto way. It's about $1,000 a minute, give or take, no matter which way you look at it. So I've kind of already been looking into that aspect of it, but that is a big chunk of change for maybe a 15-minute show. You know, although when they had the one in Port Huron, it was phenomenal. It attracted people up and down the river both sides. It was great. But is it worth it? I don't know. But
There is a big company in Windsor that does it. I know that we've used them for the last, well, 4 of our people are trained on it now. And I think our budget was probably $10,000 in fireworks. Now, mind you, we get a $4,000 grant from the government, but it's still. And they will now only be in Kamoka. They won't be in Delaware or Mount Bruce anymore because they built houses where, so guess what? It's all goes to Kamoka now, so. And
yeah, I remember the last time I talked to those guys in Windsor, as long as it's not Canada Day, you can have like a 33% discount.
yeah. And you can push it more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I like the sound of the 13th. I'm thinking about facilities because we got a plan that this is going to be one of the larger attended events if we're going to spend some money on it. The only facility that jumps in my mind is the fairgrounds that our partners hold that would accommodate something this big. Lakeshore Park is fine, but Lakeshore Park's not, it's about as uncentral as the fairgrounds are, but it also lacks other facilities that the fairgrounds do have. Armin and Ellie's just not, it could work, but then you're working around the baseball schedule. So that could become a challenge at that time of year. So there's a few options we can consider, but if we do it we're doing that in the Kamlaki area, then we don't have access to the foundation grant for that specific.
But let's say next year that this replaces our Canada Day event, which probably makes sense. And we did Easter, Canada Day, well, Easter, Celebrate Wyoming, Picnic in the Park, and Halloween.
Celebrate.
Then would we have to move any of the other events around, or would we be fine to have Easter and Halloween in Kamlaki and celebrate Plympton-Wyoming and Picnic in the Park in Wyoming?
I could live with that.
The only thing that I've noticed, I guess, over 3 years is even though we're one from north to south, east to west, you still will not get people from the south go to the north and the north go to the south. So that's one of the other reasons I thought somewhere in the middle being Reese's Corners, but that would not apply for the Wyoming. It has to be in the actual.
Has to be in the former corporation of the Village of Wyoming. But it is. $5,000 is a lot of money, but $5,000 is also easy to make up. So maybe the more central location is the better location. We have a fair bit of open maintained land there.
In Reese's Corners.
Yeah.
There's an awful lot of land.
There's on the we have extra, we can park cars at Public Works, at Leo, and just in the front part.
Could we not maybe
And you can park in
apply?
the grass on the front between the laneways too. It's fairly solid. Time of years.
Could we not maybe then apply for the Wyoming grant for Picnic in the Park or Christmas in the Village?
Yes.
Maybe that's a better option, just given that we may not have Celebrate from Plympton-Wyoming in Wyoming.
And you might not
So
have
it
the
gives us a
details
bit
on
of
it
more
nailed
wiggle
down
room,
before the grant. So now that
which I think is in a
your,
couple weeks.
agenda, I'll return it back to you and back to the foundation grant, because I think you're right. I think we're not far enough in the planning process for the Celebrate Plympton, Wyoming to really apply for that grant, to know where we want to host it. So it's probably better that if the committee is going to apply for a grant, that they do it independent of that event.
But that grant has to be in, does it not, in November?
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking that I'm not far enough along into planning for, because we don't know where it's going to be, and location makes a difference for the foundation grant.
Absolutely.
But Reese's Corners is definitely not in the community foundation.
Correct. It is Plympton Township historically.
Have you thought of shuttle service kind of thing?
It's, again, very early process. The wheels just started spinning at full speed 2 weeks ago. We got the staff to work together. So it's we are just getting going, and I wanted to make sure this committee was involved at the early stages. So
And you do have council's endorsement for this committee. They, you know, on the side, we all talked about it. They should get special events involved right up that.
So I think we don't need anything formal at this moment. I think we're, what sounds like as a whole, this group thinks the replacing the Celebrate Canada Day event with Celebrate 25 Years of Plympton, Wyoming is the way to go. So we can kind of start planning that accordingly. We don't have to pick the date today, but it sounds like we're all leaning towards the June the 13th. So we might want to start looking at our contacts to make sure that there's no conflicts. And then realistically, next meeting, we should probably sit down and start talking a location, because once we have a date and a location, then we can really nail down what we can do for budget and what the event.
It's probably better to do it just itself, because it should be a pretty big event just for that.
So in terms of the communication then, would that be coming out of the town office as to when we're meeting with the groups to get together to discuss things, or?
Yeah, I would probably organize those meetings.
It makes sense.
I say I, Nicole and I stick at them.
Okay. So I guess since we really can't then put the foundation grant towards that, because of.
We just don't know, so I would suggest that the committee pick something that works for their planned events.
Okay, so I'll open it back up then to the group. Foundation grant, it's gotta be on November 17th, which means we need to let Nicole tonight know what's what and how much.
We use it for Christmas in the village, not Christmas in the village, family day, picnic in the park. Buy for something for a picnic in the park.
Okay, and just because they need kind of more of a description, right, when you put up, what enhancement would we like to see that we could use the foundation money for? Not that I'm putting you on the spot or anything, but.
Other than power is really the whole thing we're stuck with.
The power is a township, right? Yeah.
And it's not an easy fix.
No, it's probably very expensive too.
Yeah. And in our Parks and Rec master plan, it's like recognized that we need to do improvements there, including the power system, so. Improvements will come, but they're not gonna come fast. It's gonna take time to work through it.
So have we not gone full circle then?
Yep.
So we could put the grant towards Christmas in the Village for next year then.
Good, yes. I wanted to rule out the 25-year anniversary before we got back to, so yes, we've ruled it out and now we're back.
Okay.
Do we use the grant as a blanket for all the events we do?
Be pretty specific.
Gotta be very specific.
Specific.
Only for the events that you're hosted in the former Village of Wyoming, so this immediate area.
Decorations through the town, light poles or whatever, is that more of a town budget
The
thing?
ones hanging on the streetlights.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would probably be something. That's something we've traditionally done. I don't know if you guys would want to get into that portion.
You guys online, what are your thoughts?
I did Adam's concerns about getting into doing stuff on light poles, but it would be nice to have more as you're driving through the town. I don't know if there's simple things that the committee can purchase that as the town is doing their existing Christmasing, we can easily add to that for them to hang up a few extra things or a few different things.
Extras is more challenging than new. Extras are problematic because a lot of those light poles are wired in such a manner to allow for Christmas lights. The ones that aren't wired in such a manner are not necessarily cheap or easy to do if there's no so it's not as straightforward as I'd like it to add. Update is easier again, but it's really away from special events. That's just that's decorations, which we generally do out of our roads budget and our economic development budget. So.
Okay.
Yeah, you have the foundation grant readily accessible.
I can go grab it. It's on my desk.
Why don't you go grab it? Because I think you can use it to host community events. If you wanted to add additional features to the summer or to the picnic in the park, you probably could. Or you could go back to Reliable and continue to build your decoration for Christmas.
Mitchell, what are your thoughts?
For the first thing, I like the idea of replacing Canada Day with the event for that. I think the idea of it
For the foundation grant, though.
Yeah. I'm okay with it for like any event, but I think for Christmas it would be a good idea too for decorations. I think it can
Probably
be
of all the
used
events
in
we
a
do,
lot of-
it's one of the easiest ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be used a lot of different areas, really, but Christmas does seem the easiest because decorations cost so much.
So the grant basically states that it has to benefit the former Village of Wyoming, which we knew. It cannot be something normally covered under municipal operating budget. So the Christmas lights might be a challenge because of that. We're tax exempt, so that's not a problem. Must be a designed purpose with the design length of time, which your events are. Capital will be considered, which you're not proposing capital.
I think Christmas is probably the easiest, just given that with the picnic in the park, we have some expenses, but we never really know what to expect with the picnic in the park, and sometimes we're able to get sponsorships. So I think enhancing the decor for Christmas in the Village would be great. And it would be nice to enhance, like we had talked this year about, you know, some larger things that we could purchase or some like lighted walkway things that we could have to enhance just the overall feel.
You heard that, Mitch.
I think that was a vote.
No, it's probably tugging at his leg saying, get off the Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna throw out that towards Christmas in the Village because we definitely need to enhance a few more items for sure. Additionally, we've done 2,500. At a subcommittee meeting, we talked about some various things that we would like to purchase. For the seating area / decorations in general, which I know is similar to what we had applied for last year. But I would probably feel comfortable bumping it up to 5,000 or 6,000. I know it's a double jump. But if they don't grant it all, then they don't grant it all. Granted, they can based on the number of.
I think why we like the vision of the Christmas in the Village is that it's more open to all age groups.
Right.
And it's a little more spread out than Picnic in the Park is.
And I like it for the simple fact you incorporate the 9 different community groups in it. Right? It just enhances the entire event more and more for the community. So that's my thought. I'm open to anything, but that's my thought.
Is your goal down the road to have a Christmas display that will longer than one day?
100%.
So you've got to push it towards the decorations because you and I both know how much decorations go up every year. I looked at New Rangers 2 years ago. They were going to be 25,000. I just got a price of $61,000 and they're not any different. So, and they don't move. I want them to work as a carousel. Guess what? It's even going to even more money. So what a gentleman that I dealt with years ago always told me when I was applying for grants or whatever, to look what your 5-year plan is and go after that. And take what you can get. And if it's more than they're gonna give you, they'll give you less. But then you've already started to work towards your plan. And if you're gonna do that, like I think this town would be great to have a place that you could actually, after the village thing, that you could actually go and take your family for a walk and walk through the park and look at all the stuff and leave them up till just after Christmas. And you know what? It brings a lot of people out, and it really does. And that brings more commerce to your area as well. So I think you got to start looking. The decorations you're looking at are awesome because they are commercial. They're going to last. They're not stuff you're going to go buy at Walmart or whatever. And nice things about blow-ups, but you know what? They don't last. One kid trips over it, it's garbage. There you just drop 200 or 300 bucks. Or these, and everybody says, oh, they're big and they take a lot of space, but those things all come apart really easy. Like people have no idea how easy those commercial things come apart. And I think that you should push it towards that and just keep plugging every year, just keep doing it. I know you guys don't like using the word decorations because it's more the stuff that the township and the town, but as a group, I think that's where you need the direction you need to head. And okay, so this year you drop 35, next year you drop 35. Well, guess what? In 10 years, you've got a beautiful display. Right? And every year you look at your decorating contest. You know it's great. You know it's growing every year. And I'm going to tell you right now, I know our company is going to do something as well because I've already talked to them and yeah, it will. And now, mind you, I may give them a little help with some stuff I have, but I think it brings a lot of people, people remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like the trophies, like I give everybody a plaque now that's in the parade. And you know what? I go into businesses 5 years old and they're still sitting on the walls. People, I mean, even if they don't win, they still keep it up. Okay, so like, I don't think you should cheap on anything like that. I think you should just keep blending forward and just keep doing it so you get more. And I can see it really being a thing. And like I'm gonna retire in this area, so that's part of the reason that I want to see it prosper as well. So that's my take on it.
My 3 years ago, my vision, I guess, for Christmas in the Village was to eventually turn the Christmas in the Village to McKay Park, Good Power. And incorporate the entire park. Incorporate the eating area at the back with proper signage and lights. And have a destination for people to come to for 2 weeks, right? They're off work, or whatever, for holidays. That was my vision 3 years ago. You know, it'd be just nice to work towards that. And I think we are in baby steps, but yeah, I agree 100% now. You know, we never, like when I used to work with Pat LaFramboy from Tourism Sarnia Lambton many years ago, and when Celebration Lights was getting going, and her vision of where she was going to start it and to where it is now, and how she marketed it to get people in from Niagara Falls and Toronto a lot to come down this way to see it. We're never going to get that level, but I think we can do the damnedest to come close. I think
They bring a lot of people in from there now. Yeah. And you can look at the boats in the marinas down there, and they're not all from locally around here. They're all over the place. That's the repercussions of afterwards of how much it grows and constant that. So you might be surprised how many people want to move here. I mean, you're building lots and lots of houses now.
We welcome them too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we had the poster up where I worked, and somebody said that they just moved here and they wanted to buy a lawnmower, and they said, went to the Halloween thing, because we hadn't took it down yet. They said, we just moved here. It was great. He said where we came from, just outside of Toronto, we never saw that. Our kids loved it.
so. Any other discussion on that?
I think then you should have a motion to spend money for apply for the grant decorations.
Take the seating area, scotch decorations then, I guess.
Much? Are you gonna do 5 or 6 or?
6.
So the foundation's grants are based off of what they make off interest off a trust fund.
Yeah.
There's not a lot there.
But if we're the only group that,
We definitely won't be the one.
no, but I'm just saying, it gets split up, but I mean, you can't go down, but you can go down, but you can't go up.
That is fair. We don't want to go in with too much. Just want to be cautious because I've worked with the foundation for a while now. I know that there is limited amount of money. So, but 5, 6, you can only ask. Wouldn't want to go any more than that.
No. So, Jill. 5?
Oh, I think 5. That's my time.
Did we hear 6? I need John here. Do we hear? Is there 65?
Go in the middle, go 55.
That's what I was thinking.
5,500. You guys okay with that online?
Yeah.
So you need a motion on the floor that staff be directed to submit an application on behalf of the Wyoming on behalf of Special Events Committee to the Wyoming Foundation for $5,500 for decorating Christmas in the Village and Santa seating. Reshons.
That was a great motion that Adam proposed. So do I have a mover? Gord, online, seconder?
No.
Yeah.
Mitchell, thank you. All in favor of that? Gary, thank you. Yeah, I guess on behalf of the committee, I'll, Adam, you know, thank you for, I guess, thinking of us to the 25th. I think probably the sooner the better, at the start of the year to kind of get into meat and potatoes of what everybody would like to see.
Basically, this budget will be endorsed mid to late January. After that, we hit the ground running.
I think a lot of this will be marketing.
Yeah, you're gonna need a big budget for advertising.
We put money aside. Part of the discussion was for advertising.
Yeah.
So that is that, 9.1, the last thing, the sponsorship form. And I know we're thinking about 2026, maybe we got Christmas yet. But I'd always like to get this form out at the end of or December, so we'll have them distributed for the next meeting in December. Because typically at the end of the year, businesses go, hey, I got money left over, so we might as well have our hand out. The only change, like to me, it works well because we've been very successful getting the money we've got. It works well. The only suggestion I would change, and that's based on, I always think that we have to be a little bit more grateful to the sponsors that give out the money considering the times these days. So this year we tried a little bit different to in the platinum sponsorship level, we gave them an opportunity to come to our events and set up a free tent. A couple people that I did talk to that did come, they had phenomenal success with it. So doesn't cost us anything. It's a favor to them and they got some business in return from it. So they were quite thrilled. So that's the only change, would just be to put that in the platinum sponsorships. But again, I'm open to if anyone else thinks that, you know, we need to change it. Mike.
One spot it says we started out, but I got
At the
further.
very top? At the grassroots one you're talking about? Yeah. I wondered about that. Can you scroll back up to the top, Nicole, please?
Going for a while. You're starting out with limited funds. Or maybe we can say we work with limited funds.
I think you just make council sound cheap. It might be better to say that we want to grow and encourage the community to celebrate. So we're poor and they don't fund us, give us more money.
Or didn't we?
Please.
Does that mean that gives you the impression that we just started out, but it's our third year or will be our fourth year?
Yeah.
Mike.
What about like as a grassroots community, we want to involve local businesses, so we're hoping that you'd be interested in sponsoring.
Yep, make our events bigger, better and more enjoyable for everyone.
So, Mike, I'm gonna ask you this, being that you really take bull by the horns on this one, and you go out to these people and you talk to them, do they have questions for you that should be answered on the form? No, not really. We've already got a couple sponsors already for next year already. They're chomping at the bit. Which is great. It's nice for this community to be in that position where people are saying, yeah, come back to me next year already. I got the check. Like, that is great. It's a comfortable position to be in, but we cannot take it for granted. For sure. But maybe in a group chat, we can throw around different ideas and if someone has something they'd like to see. But I will have these for the next meeting in December.
To hand out to
To hand out, yeah. Because there's a few I know that want it, so they can check. By the end of the year.
What noise?
Is everyone okay with that if we handle this one just on the group chat? Okay. That's all I have. Anyone else have anything online?
No.
Nothing for me.
Nothing, okay. Is it nice and warm, Melissa?
It was just over 30 today, so it was a little hot.
Slightly different than
You.
okay. Okay, if that's it, anyone else have anything? No, okay, I have a motion then, moved by Mike, seconded by Gord, that the special events committee adjourn until the December 1st meeting at 7 PM. All in favor? Carried, thank you. Guys online, thank you very much. Argo, go play with